It is June 15th, 2019. We're here at 4763 Mount Frissell in San Diego, California, 92117. We're going to inspect the main sewer line as well as the drain line for the kitchen and laundry. So we're here outside the garage, and we have 4 cleanouts for the sewer. So I don't know if a couple repairs got done, and just the time the second repair got done, they added a second set of cleanouts at the same time, or what happened. But we have these 2 cleanouts right here, right next to the garage itself. We took the lids off. There's some very small, fine little roots kind of just growing from around the top of both of those. Little weird debris just from some landscaping, I guess, over time. It doesn't look like they're probably growing in from the pipe. And as we look just farther over here, we have those green lid boxes there we've taken off. We have 2 more cleanouts there. So we're going to go down the first cleanout here, which will sweep away. We're going to go ahead and just pull this little fine webbing of roots that are on the top of the pipe here. We'll see if they're actually coming from... Looks like they're just growing in from the top there somehow. So this vertical clean out sweeps away from the house. This is a 3-inch line. So you can see right there, just a little bit of standing water. As we push, whoops, camera kind of flip-flop there a little bit. Like it's dropping into a little cavity there, so you can see we're kind of got the camera flipped over each other. So there's some standing water there. That'll sometimes happen if the cast iron that they're connecting to is not perfectly aligned, but also the cast iron on the inside of it will end up having some buildup, and that has to kind of be reamed off on the inside with a carbide, a Dremel style bit, a die grinder to remove that. So we're going to pull back up here. Going to make this sweep here with our camera. So you can see we're underwater here, and got a bunch of debris in the line right here. So you can see right there all that toilet paper and debris that we're pushing down the line. We're assuming that's why maybe this is holding all this water. We're going to keep pushing by here and see if this clears out. So that's part of the reason why when you have a sag or a belly in the line holding water like we first showed when we went in and we're looking the opposite direction, it's bad because it slows down all the hard debris, food, feces, and paper. So we're still kind of just slowly pushing that debris. We still have no image of the pipe because we're pushing a mound of debris, either that or the pipe. There we go. So now we're over the top. And we're actually got all that debris kind of just rolling by, and it's kind of coming down a partial vertical pipe here. And then you can see now we're transitioning back to a horizontal line. So we've pushed out a little over 20 feet, and as we go forward here, this 4-inch cast iron pipe is transitioning. We were in 3-inch and it went into 4-inch. It's transitioning into now a little bit piece of clay pipe, and then we're turning into green bell PVC. So there's the green bell PVC pipe. This is what the city put in. I can see that white junction right there. That is a T-junction, and that is the property line cleanout that is right after the sidewalk, in between the sidewalk and the curb. And we've got that lid off of that right now. So it looks like the city replaced everything from the property line out. So here's the T-junction they put in. We back up again right there. There's an access again on the just past the sidewalk. And then after this T-junction, they relined the pipe. So this pipe has been relined. It probably was original clay the whole way, and they pulled a liner through to go ahead and change the system out. So you can see the numbers and lettering there on the side of the pipe, rather than dig up the street. We got all this debris that's kind of chasing our camera here. We're going to push through this, and then we're going to have to run a bunch of water. So let's go ahead and just Keep pushing all the way out just to confirm there's no issues as it makes its junction into the city. And there's the junction for the city. There's the orange clay pipe again. So they just had a machine that came up and relined each of these little ends of the lateral for this sewer main. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and run a bunch of water down the system to flush out all this debris that was backed up and see if there is an issue with the way these pipings was put in by these cleanouts, causing things to get held up and not flow out properly. Okay, so again, here's the end of the line at the city. We have all the water running, the kitchen and both bathrooms, sinks, shower, tub, and flush the toilets. So now we're going to go ahead and pull the camera back to see if all that debris is still stuck in the line. There could be some in there, and it might take the agitation of this camera, besides the water, to actually move the rest of that out of the system, but we'll see here. We'll keep recording this while we're pulling back. We may lose our view with the water and or some debris. It just depends. Again, this is all under the street and just past the sidewalk, so there's not going to be an issue to have to deal with this piping ever. Here's our clean out, the white T-junction. Now we're passing under the sidewalk right now, so you can see that little bit of clay pipe there. There's a little bit of cast iron right there. And now this horizontal pipe is going to become vertical. So there's the turn right there, and we're now going to be coming up. We're riding up this vertical pipe, and right here we're retransitioning back to horizontal. And right there, it's kind of hard to see as we make the turn, but that's the original property line clean out there. That is a T-junction right there that was put in when the home was built for testing purposes. Just was never brought to surface, or at least we don't see one over there by the rocks. Unlikely they would have brought it to the top since they have these other 4 cleanouts already. So we'll now back up through here. Got all the water running just in case it's still all clogged. Now this is now 3-inch pipe. So after we came up that bottom turn from the first horizontal pipe back up the vertical, that transitioned into 3-inch. So this is 3-inch original cast iron pipe. So this is in between the garage and the sidewalk in the front yard here. Just some standard pitting and corrosion on the inside, but nothing that causes any concerns right here. And no root intrusions that we see. Okay, so here's that second set of cleanouts. So you can see this, now we're back into ABS pipe here. So you can see a slight misalignment, nothing too severe. We'll stop the water and see how bad, but on the left-hand side of the pipe, you're actually seeing the wall thickness of the cast iron. So the ABS pipe is kind of pushed to the left a little bit. It's not perfectly aligned. The more important one is the bottom one, that there's no lip that's going to catch things and hold things up, or also cause a little damming effect to always hold water. Now we passed all that debris when we first got here, so we don't know if it was the wrong type of material being flushed down there that somebody had put, some cleaning rags or wipes or Kleenex or anything else, but everything is clear right now. So here's that second set of cleanouts. This one sweeps back towards the house. You can actually see a little bit of the sunlight coming through from that. We have the lids off. As we back up here shortly, that's the other clean out right there, that little curved piece on the top. That's also sweeps the same way where our camera would go right there. That's, again, the second set of ABS. Okay, so you can see the misalignment right there as well a little bit. So on this one, you can see on the right-hand side and top, you can see the wall thickness of the pipe. So again, everything is shifted off and askew to the left, and so you shouldn't be seeing that. And so then you can see the black rubber boot in between them that makes the connection. So you can see on the right-hand side that little piece of white debris right there. I'm assuming that this is the spot right here, this misalignment is where everything was caught and backed up on the system when we first put our camera down here. Again, we'll stop the water and re-look at this without the water running now that we actually have a full view. Okay, so back, jump over that little hub right there. And that's back into the ABS again. So See how our camera actually kind of just rode into it? We're in the plastic and then kind of bounce up. Not much, it's not that bad, but our camera is actually riding in with the soft spring into the pipe, that little ledge. So this also could have been the area that things were getting held up when we first got here and saw that debris. It's not severe, just a little bit off. So now we're coming back up already. See a little bit of water dangling off the top of our pipe here, and we're back out of the line right here. So wipe off our camera lens here. So again, this is the first clean out closest to the garage. This is the second one, and there's the other one. We went all the way out to the street there. So this other set right here is what leads back into the house. So we're just going to pause the video for a second, shift our equipment over a little bit, and go through that section. Okay, so we moved over to this second clean out. So same thing, we got these little weird, small, fine, very fine roots growing in from the top. Looks like they're literally growing in from this top female adapter, either where it was glued in not very well, or just the top of the cap if there was other types of landscaping here before they transitioned to rocks. But they're not growing in from the pipe itself, just from literally from that top. Now we stopped all the water running. There is a little bit in the bathtub still, not draining super fast through there, so we may have a little continuation of water coming. So now we're essentially going to go ahead and head back into the house. So this is the 3-inch original cast iron main. So we're now passing in front of the garage. A little debris caked up on the line there, so that because that sewer was just backed up partially, and we actually cleared it with our camera, you see all this little white paper kind of stuck on there. A little stalagmite, little piece of corrosion on the top of the line right there as well. Again, nothing severe that needs any type of repair still at this point in time, but little catch right there. So again, just typical buildup of slight corrosion on the inside walls, but nothing severe, no real heavy scale or anything like that. We have a 1-inch camera in here with a little bit larger centering guide that's about 1.5 inches in diameter, and it's passing through without any issues. The cast iron all looks good here. Does not require any snaking or hydrogening or replacement at this time so far. Okay, here we have a Y junction. This should be picking up the bathroom from the front, kind of the hallway bathroom, essentially for the front of the house. Or it might be considered the master because it's attached to a bedroom essentially, but it has a doorway right off the entry point. And the line continues down and across. Okay, here we have a T-junction off the left. That should be our kitchen and laundry junction. And we will put another camera through there and leave this camera push rod inside so we can see that junction. And then as we continue forward, a little bit of build up always on these T-junctions, the fittings themselves. There we go. And we have a slight turn on the line because of course it's angling as it goes in to get back towards the other bathroom, which is off to the right. So you can see a little bit of debris right there. That's probably the shower stall. That's just some hair hanging down from the line. That's going to be the shower stall where that dumps into the main sewer for that first bathroom when you first walk through into the house. Now we're headed back towards the other hall bath that has the bathtub. This cast iron all looks good as well here. Even less pitting and scale and buildup than the first section. Some turn fittings right here. and then we've got a little bit of buildup in the line right there, but this is probably the end of the line where everything is dumping in off the back side. So what we're going to do is go ahead and back up right here. This turn right here may be where the toilet is dumping into the line. Kind of hard to see, but on the very top of the screen I believe that's a Y or a T junction, and this is probably right where the toilet dumps into the line. So we're going to go inside the house and flush the toilet, because as we push forward right through here, the line is getting more constricted because it only needs to be a 2-inch. So it's actually reducing, and that's where just the tub and the lavatory would be draining from. So what we'll do actually is we'll go ahead and run the lavatory drain before we flush the toilet and see if that's coming in from that smaller pipe ahead of our view. So we'll pause the video for 1 second. Okay, so there you go. You can see the water now trickling by. We have the lavatory sink running, and as we kind of look down the pipe a little bit, we can actually see the water flowing in vertically down from just slightly farther up. So that is a reduction in the line, and a little bit of buildup and scale in there. That's going to be typical with a lavatory sink and a tub, all the hair, skin, and all the other product that are used, toothpaste, shaving cream, and all the other oils and emollients from all that stuff. So that is where the sink dumps in. So right here as we back up, that should be where the toilet dumps in. We're going to go ahead and flush the toilet. We're going to leave the camera running just to show that. We're going to back up just a little bit more right there. So we're going to pause the video there for 1 second. Okay, so we have another little Wi-Fi monitor hooked up so we can see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and leave the video running, but we're going to go into the house and flush the toilet to confirm that that is the T-junction where the toilet's dumping in. Okay, so we just saw all the water go by on our little mobile monitor, and as you can see on the video that's running, that was where the toilet all flushed in. So there's no issues with the main at all, and we're now going to just back up our camera here to the spot where the kitchen and laundry junction into the line. That was that little debris where the hair from where the shower stall enters the line. A few more feet, right back up here. Here's our turn. Okay, here's our junction for the kitchen and laundry should be. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and that little bit of buildup at that T-junction is allowing a little bit of water to slowly drain out. So we're going to pause the video and push another camera in from the laundry connection clean out. Okay, so we have another camera here, and we're outside the house. There's the garage. There are other equipment. Here we have the laundry clean out. The kitchen is under the second set of windows here, and there's no clean out on the outside of that. You'd have to snake the kitchen out from under the sink. And so we're going to go ahead and go down this 2-inch laundry clean out, see if we can get through the entire system. We have a 1-inch camera head also on here, a little less of a stiffer push rod though to get through this. Once you get to the kitchen, there may be more buildup and debris. If it's all original cast iron, we may have to switch to an even smaller camera. But right now you can see the line is all open because this is just the laundry line. So it is still intact, no issues with this. We'll see where the water starts to drip in here shortly when the kitchen tees into this part of the pipe here. You can see now we've got a little bit of water in the line here, and you can see all the food and debris kind of flaked in. So here's our T-junction right there. That's where the kitchen dumps into the system. So a lot of food and debris here. So there's probably going to be a little bit of a backup here as we try to push through with all this soft food and gunk. So we are going to go ahead and turn the water on to try to push this out and get all the way out through, and then we'll come back in reverse. So we're going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so we now have the water running, cold water in the kitchen sink. It should be less than a 10-foot pathway from here to get into the main. So, see, the line is open. Just constricted like any 2-inch cast iron would normally be for the age of the home, being a kitchen line. But this 1-inch camera is passing through relatively easy, and we can actually see already our other spring on our other camera. As we come forward right here, this is the dump into the main sewer. And there's the main sewer, and there's our little silver coiled up spring on our other camera that we left in the main sewer. So this is the end of the kitchen and laundry line already dumping into the main sewer. So the line is completely open and functional. We probably, again, cleared out almost like a snaking job quite a bit by just running the camera through here. So we're going to leave the water running as we come back. Just kind of sweep the area one more time. And then we will shut it off and inspect it without any water running, just to confirm that everything looks okay. You can see right here, this is just the laundry line. We kind of brought that water back with us. And as we go forward again here, we're going to be underwater. Here's where the water is about to enter into the line here. The line is clear and open. Push all the way back out again relatively quickly here. And here's our dump back into the main. So we're now going to go ahead and pause the video, and we'll go ahead and shut the water off and look at this pipe without any of the water passing through it. Okay, so we're at the end of the kitchen laundry line where it dumps into the main. Again, there's our other spring from the first camera that's sitting in the main sewer for the 3-inch line. So we'll back up on this 2-inch line here. So everything's flowing through. Line looks nice and open. Again, we partially opened it up just by running our camera back and forth multiple times there. A little debris on the top right of our camera there. And yeah, the line is perfectly fine on the kitchen. Doesn't require any repair or maintenance at this time. No snaking or hydrojetting. So we're now back into just the laundry line itself here. And coming back up and out, and here on the side of the house, wipe off our camera lens here. So again, there's the clean out right next to the fence here, above the laundry room window. So that 2-inch cast iron line under the house is fine, and everything's good. So we're now going to go move back over to the other line to verify those offsets in the pipe, and just take a look at those one more time now that all the water's run through the system. So we're going to pause the video. Okay, so we're back over here by the garage cleanouts. We're going to go ahead and get most of that little bit of debris out of there. We'll go back down this line here, see if we have any standing water, as well as, again, look at the line itself. So you can see just a minuscule amount of standing water, nothing really severe. Just a little bit of a lip right there, where that cast iron is just slightly higher, and that's why you got that little bit of standing water there. Now again, when we got here and we had all that buildup, it's possible this little lip did it, but let's go ahead and jump over that real easily and then look at the next section here. And you can see we've got a little bit of debris in our camera lens from going back down, so we're going to go ahead and run some water down there really fast just to go ahead and wash off our pipe here. Just running the garden hose just to clean off that lens a little bit. We don't want to keep water running the whole time, because then you can't see the bottom of the line, as well as get a good clear view of the pipe connections. So again, this is the first set of cleanouts right next to the garage door. That little bit of standing water there. You can see just slight misalignment. So you can see the wall thickness of the cast iron there on the right and left hand side. So just wasn't joined perfectly when it was done, either with the connection method that was done, or when they backfilled and tampered the area. They pushed down on the black plastic pipe, because it wasn't supported underneath very well, and just moved just a little bit. Again, it's not much, but when we got here, everything was all clogged and backed up. Now, as we come over to this next short run of cast iron until we get to the next set of cleanouts, you can see this alignment's a little more off. And then I'm assuming this is what was really causing that buildup when we first got here. It was literally almost backed up all the way. So you can see there, you can see the whole right side of that ABS plastic pipe. So the pipe is all askew or misaligned. So it's basically lower and to the left on its alignment when you go from the cast iron to this plastic. And then here's again our other all sets of cleanouts, and here's the next transition back into cast iron. So same thing, just slightly askew and off. You can see the side wall of the pipe. The plastic is again lower and to the left. So on the cast iron now we're seeing those pieces just a little bit. And so as I come up with the camera, same thing, just a little bit of water, not much, and the camera just kind of gets held up there. I'm just kind of gently pushing it, and it kind of hits, and I got to give it some more force, and you can see how it jumps and pops over that lip, that edge to the line. So normally this is pretty small on all these misalignments and these sections that convert from one pipe to the next. Nothing that I would normally say that needs to be repaired or redone. Again, not really sure why we have two sets of cleanouts, and then in between we've got this old piece of cast iron that's only a couple feet long that was left. Kind of strange, but must have been at two different times, and they decided not to do any replacement right there. So only because of all the buildup that was on the line, it may one day need to be realigned and replaced, and at that time one of the sets of cleanouts can be abandoned, and the piece of cast iron in between the two can be redone. Again, as we go after this line, though, the rest of the cast iron here looks okay. We don't see anything that's raising any desire or concern to say it has to be repaired or replaced at this time. So again, this is the other clean out at the real property line, and then it makes the vertical drop. So everything else looks good on the system other than these small misalignments. A little bit of debris in our camera lens, so we can't see. We'll kind of rinse that off here. So all that buildup we saw when we got here, and the house is vacant, so we're assuming this was just people coming by to use it, or realtors, unless there was a cleaning crew or somebody putting something down that they shouldn't. So everything's here in the front. The pipe is only a couple feet deep, literally. Let's go ahead and take a quick measurement, which is literally our tape measure, because it doesn't even need to be located. So the pipe is about 30 inches deep, so it's 2.5 feet deep in this area. And back up, and here's the other clean out. So again, nothing real severe, nothing that we normally would say needs to be redone. Only we had that buildup when we got here. So that concludes the recording for this property.